Hey guys, Caller here with Game 5 of Group D of the OSL Ro16, and we have here Mind versus Much. Mind on the left here, Much on the right, and this game is critical for both players. Both are 1-1 in the group, so I believe this will determine, or might determine actually, whether they advance or not. I'm not sure if it does. It depends on whether there are any ties at the end, but of course it's very important for both. The map is Othello, which I believe is a fairly balanced map between among all three races, really. There, you do have that natural expansion, which has a cliffable ledge. Cliffable, I'm not sure if that's a word, but I use it a lot. Cliffable as in, like, you can put things on that cliff. So I guess tankable would be a good word, or templarable, stormable. But anyway, we have Much here spawning in purple at the 5 o'clock, and we have Mind spawning in red at the 7 o'clock. Much has been known for going for a couple of early cheeses before, but Mind has not, so I'll be looking for Much to do something interesting here. Although I think Much is quite comfortable with his early game also, with his later game also. So I don't think he'll feel pressure to go for an early cheese. Both have done pretty well, actually. Both are statistically the same against each's respective races. Much is 58% against Terran, and Mind is 58% against Protoss. So don't really have much to say there about their statistics. I mean, both seem to be quite capable of dispatching their opponents. Although I have to say, neither of these players, I wouldn't. I mean, Mind is probably, I don't know. I'd like to say he's in the top 3 of Terrans right now. I actually probably have to say he's in the top 3, but I just don't like Mind's play that much, to be honest. No personal bias against him, but he just is sort of a conservative player. Much has also been floating around the sort of top 5, top 3 Protosses, but really has never demonstrated himself to be absolutely great in any means, by any means. So this is one of his chances to do so. It looks like both players are going for very standard openings here. Much going for a gateway and assimilator, and looks like Barracks and Refinery going up for Mind. So both players going for a factory cybernetics core sort of builds here. And going back to what I was saying, do Dragoons, do their souls get recaptured and placed into more Dragoons after they die? That is the question of the day, ladies and gentlemen. So if you guys have any answers to that, let me know. And what exactly is a warp blade? That's another question. A very good question, I think. I mean, when I was younger, I always thought it was just a blade that warped everything that it touched. And why would I say when I was younger? I mean, I still think that. I still think it's basically a blade that warps everything it touches, hence why it does a ridiculous amount of damage. Looks like Cybernetics Core going up for Much, and he's going to place his probe on the ramp. No, he's going to put a Zealot there, so he's definitely going to try to prevent scouting. That's the goal of placing the Zealot on that ramp there, and I think the SCV will be too fat to go up. I do believe probes are a little skinnier than SCVs. Meanwhile, it looks like Mind is going for a fast expand, given by the lack of SCVs on the refinery. And Much is probably going to go for some kind of cheese play here because he has placed that Zealot on the ramp. Of course, Mind will be able to sort of guess that also, based on the fact that he can't get into the base. Usually that means the Protoss player is going for something interesting. Looks like he is going for a Dark Templar rush here. So putting down a Citadel of a Dune here in his base, and Much will be going for DTs here. That's right. And looks like Mind getting his factory up. Of course, Mind, being a very cautious player, will probably respond to this by building a relatively early engineering bay, earlier than he would otherwise. And looks like a robotics facility also going up for Much, so Much going for the DT drop here. And this is one move that Bisu absolutely loves. And in the last Protoss vs. Terran game I just commentated on, I forget between whom, but there was the same thing, the same Dark Templar drop to counter the early expansion, and really it worked out quite well there in that case also. Just really a solid, not a solid opening, but I mean, if your opponent doesn't react correctly, it is a very strong combination, and even if it kind of fails, I mean, if it totally fails, you're dead, but if it kind of fails, you can also change it into just getting an economic lead and then eventually go for some higher tech. It does open up your tech tree quite nicely. Templar Archives now going up for Much, so Much is going to be going for that DT rush here. And we'll be up to see how Mind reacts to this. Mind looks like he's about to play something. Looks like he's building his command center near his natural expansion there, and I assume he's going to be building an engineering bay pretty soon here. He needs to, or else he's going to be in huge trouble. And looks like Much just scouting around his base. I mean, he definitely knows where Mind is, and Mind so far, I don't see any precautions up yet for him. It looks like he's going for a very standard FD build, and there's the engineering bay for Mind. So Mind probably will be okay against this. I'm gonna guess he's gonna be okay against this, and I believe what happened was, oh yeah, Backhoe, I think. Was it Backhoe who beat him, or whatever happened? I don't know what happened. But some other players, some Protoss player beat some Terran player in a recent game I commentated with DT drops, and I'm not sure who it was. But anyway, looks like Mind now is going to put up turrets around his base. Very, very good timing by him, because he absolutely did it at the last minute possible. And he might be a little bit late here. He might be about 5 seconds late here, and he could be in huge trouble here. DT is now being dropped here, and oh man, is that turret going to get up? Is the question of the day. Is that turret? And the turret will not get up, or gets up for a second, and it's too late for Mind here. So Mind in huge trouble now, I think. Just really bad luck for him. Losing that turret about a minute, basically, well, 5 seconds too late for him, and now he's in absolute trouble. Much is now has 2 DTs in his base, although there is that turret at the southern part of his command center. Much is just able to disrupt everything right now, and he could really just, looks like he's also trying to break down the turret in the front door here, and now bring up forces to attack from the front, and Much now setting up his expansion, and this is what I meant. I don't think Much will actually kill Mind off, but he will slow Mind down considerably. He's already killed a couple of SCVs. He's forced Mind to basically not expand and to put down a lot of turrets, and he's continuing to do his harass here. He might be able to take down that supply depot. I think he will. And now he's got a couple of forces in sort of an interesting Protoss contain here. Vultures are out, but I don't believe these Vultures have mines yet. Otherwise, he would be using them. And no mines, evidently, for these Vultures. And wow, the factory is lifted, and Mind is unable to produce from there, unable to research from the machine shop either. That's terrible for him. So he's going to be even further behind here. So Much can really follow up with a big Dragoon push and win this game right now. Or he could just choose to, he might be forced to choose for an economic advantage. Mind dropping a barracks and trying to build a marine there at his natural. That's not going to work. It looks like a comsat station being built at the sort of, whatever, the expansion that was going to be, at the command center that was going to be used for the expansion. But Much seeing it and chopping it down there. Meanwhile, it looks like Mind trying to push out here. I think he's killed all the DTs in his base by now. I hope so. But 2 more being dropped here. Wow, by Much, and Much now will get scanned, and he might be able to get away with one of them. Looks like he will get away with one. No, that one gets killed also. So a little bit bad play there, actually. I feel like Much could have saved one of them. Wow. And looks like he lost his shuttle to just Marines here. That's actually going to hurt Much a lot. So Mind fighting his way back in the game, I feel now. Because he is going to get his expansion down, and Much's attack has pretty much failed. On the other hand, though, Much has now gone for another expansion at the 1 o'clock position, and he, of course, has had his expansion, his natural, up for quite a while. And it looks like he still does have 1 DT left inside of Mind's base. It won't be able to do much but scout, though, right now. Mind actually might have more forces on the ground, though, at the present time. He might be able to actually strike out and do some damage here with his Vultures, and looks like he's been trying to do that. Much anticipating it quite well, though. But I think, yeah, it's impossible to wall in completely here. I do believe it's impossible to wall in because of that little thing on the little map artifact that prevents the pylon wall from being built. I wonder if Much knew about this or not, because that's surprising that he was trying to make the pylon wall anyway. Perhaps he wasn't familiar with this map, or perhaps he was trying to put another building there. I don't know. It looks like Mind, for some reason, not going in there. Maybe it is enough to block it. I'm not sure, because I'd be surprised. I'm a little surprised that the Vulture didn't stay inside that 1 o'clock base. Regardless, though, Mind now just trying to find a hole in Much's defenses so he can bring some Vultures in and do some economic damage of his own. He needs to do that, or else Mind will run away with the economy part of the game. Speed upgrade. No, actually not speed upgraded yet for those Vultures. But Observer out for Mind. For Much, rather. And Mind now getting his macro up, getting 3 factories. Looks like the scouting DT is now dead. And yeah, it looks like Much was all along was trying to build a forge behind there so he could protect it. But looks like all these Vultures might be able